Hello and welcome to a special edition of Higher Ed Live on Student Affairs Live today. This is the weekly web show for student affairs professionals in higher education. We broadcast typically every other Wednesday at 12 noon Eastern Time. But for those of you who are joining our special conversation today, you can follow along on our back channel, Higher Ed Live, and also on the hashtag ACPA15. I'm your host, Heather Shea Gasser, and I'm pleased to be joining you from my professional home here at Michigan State University. Fortunate to serve as one of the co-hosts of Student Affairs Live with my good friend Tony Duty. And I'm also pleased to have the assistance of Amanda Carlton monitoring our back channel today. Amanda was supposed to be on our Hangout, but she's not feeling well, and so she's opting to help us out in that way instead. So thank you so much, Amanda. Today's special episode is a promotional show for ACPA 2015, College Student Educators International Annual Conference, which is going to be happening early next month in Tampa, Florida. ACPA is one of Higher Ed Live's exclusive sponsors, and so I'm really pleased to be joined by Kathy and Dwayne from the convention planning team to talk a little bit about all the excitement in Tampa, Florida. Before I get to them and introduce my guests, I'm going to just spend a second talking about our sponsors. Higher Ed Live is produced by M. Stoner, a marketing and communications firm that works with educational institutions on branding, strategy, web design, and more. And as I just mentioned, Student Affairs Live is sponsored by ACPA, College Student Educators International. Our strategic partnership with Higher Ed Live calls attention to the pairing of innovative professional development delivery with the source of a renowned professional association. ACPA publishes the Journal of College Student Development and About Campus. And as we will be talking about, we want you to join us in Tampa, Florida for our annual convention. We're going to be sending out some links there. And I want to tell you, I'll probably mention this a couple times during the broadcast today, we have a special promotion for folks who are watching Higher Ed Live. If you've never been to an ACPA convention before, you're watching the show today, you can receive 25% off of your registration rate by calling the international office and talking with Encore, Tricia, or Sean. And I'll talk more about how to get that special 25% off your registration rate as well multiple times during the show. So, convention season is here. How do you make the most of your time at a professional association conference? What are some of the can't-miss highlights of this year's convention in Florida? And, you know, hearing from folks who have been on convention planning teams and have participated in this year's process, what is it like to plan an international convention? These are some of the things that we're going to be talking about today. And I'm really pleased to be joined by Dwayne Todd. Both of these folks have been on Higher Ed Live before, so it's great to have you both back. Dwayne, I'll let you give a little bit more about your background. But Dwayne is serving as one of the co-program chairs of this year's convention. The other person who's joining us today is Kathy Adams-Reister, and she is the special events chair for this year's convention. So if you all, in your introductory remarks, could tell us a little bit about your roles and responsibilities on the convention team, and then also what is your day job? What are you doing on your campuses? And then, because the Oscars are right around the corner, will you tell us what your favorite movie is? And it could be an Oscar show, it could be from this year, or it could be from 20 years ago. So, Dwayne, do you want to start?
I will start. Now, wow, the movie thing now has me nervous. I have to do some quick thinking. Hi, everyone. I am Dwayne Todd, as Heather mentioned. I serve as the program co-chair for this year's convention at ACPA, and my paid job is to be the Vice President for Student Affairs at Columbus College of Art and Design in Columbus, Ohio, where I've been now for 14 years. And my tenure in higher ed lasts about, let's see, I think I just passed my 20-year mark. So been around the block a few times. My responsibilities at on this convention team have really involved leading a dynamic team of program sort of coordinators of each of the different program types that you'll see at the convention. Everything that's sort of educational in nature, speaker related, any of the content, the educational content that's delivered at the convention, by and large, has come under the oversight of the program team, and our responsibilities started a couple of years ago when we just began to think about which program types do we want to have, particularly wanting to honor the innovative work that was done last year with last year's convention. So assessing, what did we want to put back on the agenda from last year, the program schedule, program type list, and then what new things could we think about that might be interesting and exciting for our members. So, of course, you begin with a philosophical discussion about a lot of that. Move to what are the staples, if you will, of a good quality convention educational program, and then how do we try to continue to sort of deliver and provide educational experiences that are out of the norm for people, because we're used to going to conventions, all of us are, where you have a list of programs, you go to a session, it lasts an hour, you have a little bit of engagement in the session, and then you're on to the next thing, and then you have a speaker here and a speaker there, but many conventions really have fallen into a format that is pretty cut and dry, and I think ACPA has been really good about trying to keep that innovation alive within the convention experience, not for novelty's sake, but really to try to provide new ways of discussing important topics, so that it doesn't become just routine any longer. These topics deserve to be discussed in fruitful ways, and so we want to continue to push the boundaries about how we're experiencing convention while we're there. So our job has been to really coordinate I think there are about 15 people on the program team. Everyone has a program type that they're responsible for. We also have someone on the program team who is helping us keep our eye on the ball related to equity and inclusion, and serving as sort of a consultant to really the entire convention team about those issues. And then we have people who come in and sort of consult about their area, like Kathy comes in and has helped us with the opening and closing areas and Pachaka-Cha. Joe Janice has been coordinating Pachaka-Cha, and yet he has a tie with a convention program team as well. So it's been a really fun experience. It's a lot of work, but wow, it's really fun to see it come together finally.
Yeah, I can attest to that. I was in Dwayne's role last year, and when we hosted this preview show last year, I was definitely in the same place you were. Your favorite movie, you forgot to say.
Oh, yeah, no, that wasn't a mistake. I can't say that I really know what's up for an Oscar, so let me go back and just think about the movies that I just love, and not because they're not all that meaningful, I just love them. Okay, so Steel Magnolias is always on the list for me. And this other campy film that I love called Drop Dead Gorgeous. Has anyone seen this?
Fabulous show. Fabulous.
Oh, it's so awesome. And you being where you are, Heather, I'm sure you can appreciate the accents.
Absolutely. Oh, I love it. That's great. Kathy, tell us a little bit about your role, what you do at Arizona, and then don't forget your favorite movie.
Okay. Well, how about I'll start with my favorite movie, so then I won't forget it. And I said, Dwayne, you took mine. I said,
really?
I was thinking Steel Magnolias. How funny. Okay. So one of my all-time favorites, I'm a huge Julia Roberts fan, and I just think that is kind of a timeless movie that is fantastic. So we'll start with that. My name is Kathy Adams-Reister, as Heather said, and my day job is Associate Dean of Students at the University of Arizona. So I'm here in Tucson, where I hate to say, but it's nice and warm today, which I'm hoping it will be in Tampa. We might hit 80 today, so it's beautiful outside. So in my work, I work with our parent and family programs, fraternity and sorority programs report through me, and then I also work with our campus, like our outdoor space use policy, which involves a lot of work around the First Amendment and protesting and free speech as well. So those are kind of the different hats I wear here on campus. And I'm super excited to be involved with the convention team this year working with special events. So I have a mighty team of 5, and we're really excited about some of the things coming up. I think probably our biggest night is opening. Between opening and Celebrate ACPA and Culture Fest, A Demand for Justice, the whole evening starting at 4 p.m. is going to be fantastic. So so we really hope that people will join us. Working in collaboration with the program team, with Dwayne's team, we have some fabulous speakers that are coming to opening that we're excited about, and then it just will be a great night from there. So I'm hoping people will come out for that. So I would say the experience working with this, I think our theme is pretty apt and appropriate for what we're doing, because we really are collaborative, as Dwayne said. So with special events, you have a lot of logistical pieces that go into the planning of different events that are happening during convention. So we've worked really closely, with the program team on speakers, working really closely with a Commission on Multicultural Affairs for Culture Fest. So we have are working and collaborating with a lot of different groups throughout ACPA to really make sure these events are fantastic and are really, I think, good sources of information and also networking for our members.
Great. Those are great comments. And actually, that leads me into my next question, which has to do with the theme. Can one of you tell us what it is, and then maybe we'll go through and each of us talk a little bit about what that means to us. So, Dwayne, do you want to tell us what the theme is, and then how that relates to what you've been doing on the program team and what the theme means to you? Sure.
We actually debated whether we wanted a convention program team or a program theme this year, because sometimes they're kind of hokey at times, and does it really matter what the theme is? Are people going to come because of a theme? Does it really tie in with what the curriculum ends up being? So we had that discussion. We did decide that we wanted to create some words that we hope shape the curriculum and shape people's experiences, and also what we hope that they take away from the convention. So we did not ask people to necessarily tie their program submission to a theme, because then my experience is we find people trying to jam themes into their content, which ends up being weird. So we didn't ask for that. But what we did try to do is make sure that we're choosing speakers and reinforcing ways that we want people to live out the theme and sort of make the theme active during the convention. So the theme is consider, collaborate, create, commit. One of our hopes with the convention this year was to try to illuminate the ways in which scholarship and research connect with practice, and vice versa, where practice connects with research agendas and the need to know more about who our students are and how effective we are with our work. Because we all wear both hats. We may wear, one hat may be bigger than the other, but we believe that to be a really effective faculty member and to be a really effective practitioner in this field, you need to understand and appreciate and even work within both of those spheres, both the knowledge generation and dissemination and making it real and putting it into practice in terms of how we serve students. So we're trying to present opportunities during the convention for people to see that dichotomy, not dichotomy, but that the interconnectedness of those two aspects of our professional lives. So we want people to consider ways that they can begin to expand upon that relationship. Of course, we want our members to collaborate with each other, but also collaborate with those who are generating knowledge and those who are using knowledge to serve students. We're looking for people to be innovative in their work. You'll hear, I think, a lot of ways that we're trying to push people to think differently about what is our role? What purpose do we serve at our institutions? What difference do we make with students? And how can we create more opportunities and new ways of doing that work? And then, of course, to commit. By the time you leave convention, we know that many of us leave convention re-energized about the work that we do, inspired to try new things and to just go 100% back on your campus and give your all to the students. So we want people to commit to those sorts of experiences that we have at convention that cause us to want to recommit ourselves to the field. We want you to kind of go with that and then do something when you're back on your campus.
That's great, Kathy. What do you take away from the theme?
So I would say I think Dwayne did a really excellent job of summarizing the conversation that we had as a convention steering team and picking the theme. But I think for me, the emphasis, thinking about it on multiple ways, is I think taking, because there's a lot of knowledge and expertise that is generated and shared at the convention. So that's really kind of in the consider part, and what are you doing and how does it apply to your practice? And then taking that, the biggest part to me is that so what now what. So you know this, so what are you going to do differently, and what are you committing to, and what are you taking back to your campus as part of what you're going to do, in your practice and back on campus. So I think that's the biggest part for me is that kind of taking that knowledge and then doing something with it.
Yeah, I just want to follow up on what Dwayne said about people using the theme in their program. Last year, reInvent, I think we had 50 programs that used the word reinvent. So
Right.
Hopefully there's lots of collaborate, create, commit.
I tried to tell people not to do that, so I think it worked because we didn't see too many like that.
I was like, you don't get extra bonus points if
No,
you somehow
you
work
don't.
the theme into your title. So tell me a little bit about what you're most excited about. I mean, it sounds like this has been a huge process in getting to this point. What is maybe one or two things that you're most looking forward to when we're all together in Tampa? Kathy, do you want to start?
Sure. So we have a fantastic lineup of speakers for opening and closing, and obviously I've spent a lot of time in both of those areas. So I'm really excited. So for opening, kind of similar to the style last year, we'll have head talks. So we have Jose Antonio Vargas, who's a Pulitzer Prize-winning journalist, who also is an undocumented immigrant who will be joining us. We have Stephanie Hammerman, who has cerebral palsy and does a lot of work around ability and access, who will be here. And then we have Ibu Patel, who was named one of America's best leaders in 2009, and he's the founder of and president of the Interfaith Core, and he is doing a lot of work on college campuses around the interfaith movement with college students. So we have a fantastic opening lined up. And then for closing, Laverne Cox will be joining us. She is an actress who stars in the series Orange is the New Black, and also really one of the first African-American transgendered women in a major role. So we're very, very excited to have her. And the fun thing will be our next gen students. On Sunday, we'll get to spend some time talking with her prior to the closing. So it's going to be a fantastic time. And the other thing I'm really, really excited about is we'll have Celebrate ACPA, so you'll have a chance to connect and network. And then following that, we have Culture Fest, a demand for justice. And I know that a lot of time was spent by CMA and the networks really working on what they wanted Culture Fest to be this year. And they are bringing in, and I'm grabbing the person's name, a special speaker that will be talking about kind of the theme, a demand for justice. So sorry, I'm pulling up the name here. So the person that's coming in is Caridad de la Cruz, and it's a Bronx-born performer known as La Bruja. And she was awarded, she's a Puerto Rican, she was awarded the Puerto Rican Women's Legacy Award, and she's a poet and going to be sharing information and poetry during Culture Fest. And then following Culture Fest, there'll be the CMA social. So there's a lot of fun stuff going on for the opening evening of the convention.
Wow, that sounds awesome. And what day does the convention open, Kathy?
Oh, it's Thursday. I think it's March 4th.
Okay.
Wayne.
That's right.
I should know that.
Yeah, and this is a different schedule all around from previous ACPA. So we're going Thursday to Sunday instead of what, Monday to Wednesday or Sunday to Wednesday. Yeah.
Yes.
That'll be good.
Thursday, March 5th.
Sorry,
Thursday,
thank
March
you.
5th. Yeah.
I know it's Thursday.
Yeah.
First Thursday in March. That's all you need to know.
Dwayne, what are the things that you're most excited about?
Well, oh man, I don't even know where to begin on this. I'm going to speak selfishly first as an ACPA member who looks forward to the convention because this is my chance to be with my people. Mm-hmm. I have my people on my campus for sure, and I love my team. But ACPA is a family. I really never imagined an association serving in that kind of role in my life. But it absolutely has, and I just can't wait to see my colleagues that unfortunately I only get to see once a year in most cases, but these are people who make me want to be a better professional, to borrow a movie line, if you will. They inspire me to just to try harder and to think differently and to just push myself and dig deep in terms of how I can serve students better. So I look forward to that. It is always a chance for me to take in a deep breath with these people who care about each other and care about our work, and then go back to campus and begin to do something. From my role on the convention team, of course, it's exciting to finally see it happen. And Heather, you know that very well. So many conversations, and then it's like you get to convention, you push play, and all the magic happens, right? So everyone, it just does their part, and it makes this really crazy, chaotic in some respects, but it all works together to this convention that it's like, I don't know. It's amazing that it all comes together, quite honestly, with all the moving parts. Yes. But it does, because there are lots of talented people at the helm making it happen. There are a few new convention types that we're going to be premiering this year that I want to make sure we touch on. We're keeping so much of the good innovation that happened last year, so you'll see Kachas again, and those are all lined up and ready to go. You're going to see Trending Now tables again, which are roundtable discussions around hot topics. Makes it sound trite, but very important topics and current topics in the field. We're just in the process now of sending out those topics and making sure that people know what's going to be in that area. Of course, we're doing head talks again, so not just one major speaker at the opening, but 3. And then we're also doing a featured presentation, another head talk in the middle of the convention, delivered by George Koo and Julian Kinsey on the degree qualifications profile, which is a project of the Lumina Foundation. And they'll be spending an hour giving a presentation about that project, and then following up with an interview with Higher Ed Live after that. So we're keeping those formats that are, I think, exciting. We're also adding in a few more. So you'll see on the agenda this year a thing called Idea Generator. It is, we don't really know how this is going to go, honestly, and it's a little fun to plan a program like that. And by design, it is meant to be fluid and organic. So the Idea Generator will start with an initial panel of speakers, and I wish I could give you their names right now, but I can't because we haven't gotten firm commitments from all of them, but it's going to be great. It'll be a great panel. And they will take a topic that they'll discuss together for about 15 or 20 minutes. The point of the Idea Generator is to foster innovative thinking about sort of a broad topic in the field, a broad problem area, if you will, and begin to move towards solutions rather than just problematizing the issue over and over again, which sometimes happens when we try to deal with big issues. That we're always moving toward ways of addressing successful approaches. How can we think about this differently? What are the root causes? This kind of thing. And there'll be a moderator, if you will, called, the title is Provocateur. John Dugan, Dr. John Dugan from Loyola in Chicago, is our Provocateur this year. He will be emceeing and ringleading the whole experience. So he will kick it off, and then he will sort of keep the panel on target and moving along. So the fun part begins after that initial 15 or 20 minutes. Then members from the audience who want to join the conversation, join the panel, can come up and tap someone out of their seat. So they'll come up and John will orchestrate all of this to make sure that it's not a zoo, but he will, we'll tap someone out from the panel, and they will leave the panel, and that person will take their seat, and then begin to offer whatever insight they have or suggestions they have. So it's a continuously evolving panel for about an hour and 20 minutes. It'll keep it exciting. Who knows where this is going to go, but it should be fun. The topic this year is From Prep to Practice, narrowing the gap between what we learn and what we do. And again, trying to touch back on this theme of scholarship and practice and making sure that they're working seamlessly together. So that panel will be really fun. That's on Friday, starting at 11:30. After the hour and 20-minute panel experience, then Higher Ed Live is going to do a follow-up interview for an hour with the original panelists, and they will discuss, okay, what ideas bubbled up in this experience, and what merit do they have? how did it change any thinking about this topic? What ways could we move forward in new directions with this? So that'll be fun.
Oh my gosh, those sound like amazing new ideas, and it sounds like a really fun format to get some really important things out, hopefully, into the space, and a really interesting topic. As Dwayne mentioned, Higher Ed Live is going to be broadcasting live 3 separate shows from ACPA. So the 2 that you mentioned, and then we'll be also meeting with the convention chair and Cindy Love, the executive director, and Kent Porterfield the day before the convention opens to hear their insights about what not to miss while you're there. So we're really excited.
Can I touch on two more before we?
Yeah, for sure.
I know we're almost out of time, but wow, a half hour goes so fast.
It does.
We're also doing exceptional practices this year, which are 2 30-minute best practice sessions back-to-back in the same program block. So it really, the format will require people to kind of cut to the chase. What's working on your campus that you want to share with other people. 15 or 5 or 10-minute discussion afterward, then we're on to the next topic. So it's really short, condensed top discussions around major themes like leadership programs or new student programs or that sort of thing. So you'll get a 2-for-1 when you go to one session on that. And then secondly, we're bringing back the convention proceedings idea that used to happen a long time ago, but we're doing it using current technology. So we're calling it Convention Continued, ACPA CC, hashtag ACPA CC, which will be, it is being led by Patrick Love, who's the vice president at New York Institute of Technology, and a team that he's putting together. Presenters will be able to submit a blog posting that then will go on a WordPress site, and people can contribute knowledge to that and engage with that content after the convention.
That is awesome. That's really great. Dwayne, you also mentioned something about getting together with your ACPA family, and I definitely want to echo that as well. And then one of the other things that I've particularly appreciated about ACPA as an association is their ability to engage with some tough topics and have some really important conversations. In fact, Kathy Aubert, who's the Director of Equity and Inclusion on the governing board, wanted us to mention a session that's going to be happening at convention, which is a community dialogue to improve equity and inclusion, and it's an open forum for ACPA members where there'll be lots of folks from the governing board, as well as Kathy. Cindy Love is going to be there. And we're specifically wanting to find out about how we can improve ACPA practices, programs, and services, and sharing, opening it up for a dialogue about insights and suggestions for increasing alignment between our values of equity and inclusion and the association's work. That session is happening on Saturday, March 7th from 4:30 to 5:30 in the Convention Center, Ballroom A. So I just wanted to make sure we got that notice in. But I wanted to now talk a little bit about just one thing about Tampa. So, we know we go to convention cities because we're there for the professional development and for the people who we network with. But being in Tampa is a pretty awesome opportunity as well, and it's a beautiful place. I was there last summer. Kathy, what's one thing that's a don't miss when you're in Tampa?
Oh my gosh. Well, so I think it has a little bit of something from everyone. From if you need to get back to the ocean and be a little bit warmer and have some sun, you should have that while you're there. We're right on the water, a beautiful bay. And then the other thing is, like, for our foodies out there who love, kind of different and good food, there is great options in Tampa, and it's a short trolley ride away. There's places by the hotel, and you can take the trolley into Ybor City. And I love paella, so there's some great options for that.
Good food. All right, Dwayne, what's your Tampa don't miss?
Oh, come on. I mean, I'm in Ohio, right? And it's bright back here. That is all, cloudy skies out there, and it snowed this morning. So, but my Boston friends, if you're on this, I'm sorry. I'm sorry for what's happening up there. But Tampa, come on, sunshine and warm and water and beach if you want it. I just, I probably won't see the beach, but I definitely will see the water and the sunshine. So I'm looking forward to that. And just being able to just be outside and breathe in some nice, warm, fresh air. So I'm looking forward to a change in climate for myself. The nice thing about the convention center also is that it's so much is contained right there. The hotels are close by, and the convention center is beautiful and really laid out well, so you don't have to go hunting, for your room, and you don't have to kind of go through weird hallways to find something you're looking for. It's all kind of laid out really well, so it'll be a fun convention experience for people.
That's great. As we mentioned at the beginning of the webcast, you can still register for ACPA, and if you're watching today's Higher Ed Live show and have never attended ACPA before, we're offering a special offer of 25% off of your convention registration. To access that, you just need to contact Tricia, Encore, or Sean in the international office, and you can email them at alex@acpa.nche.edu. To get in contact with folks. You know, the other way for folks to participate is through this digital pass, too. So if you don't have travel funds and can't make it to Tampa, Dwayne, do you want to tell me a little bit about the digital pass and how people can participate in that?
I wish I could. I mean, it's not been something under the program team. So
Heather, I can.
Okay, Kathy, you talk.
Okay, so the digital pass is a way that people who can't physically join us in Tampa can participate, like you said. We're going to stream over 50 hours of convention sessions and events. So included in the packet is the opening session, Culture Fest, selected exceptional practice programs, and then the closing session with Laverne Cox. And more details will come out on exactly how you can sign up to do that. But as an ACPA member, that's one of the great ways you can connect.
Yeah, and I think if we just go to the registration page, there's a link that people can access to find out about how to purchase that, and it's a very reasonable rate, right?
Yep.
Cool. Well, I am really thrilled. We are at time. Half an hour does go really quickly when you're having fun talking about professional association involvement. Just want to encourage folks that if they want to get more involved in ACPA, you know, all of us got started because we said yes, we raised our hand and said, I want to help. There's lots of opportunities for volunteers, for folks to join commissions and standing committees and other groups within the association. So reach out, connect with any of the three of us, and we'd be happy to help you find your next path within the professional association. So I'm going to thank you, the two of you, for joining me today on Higher Ed Live. I'm going to give you also some additional information. Next week we have a special guest host on Student Affairs Live, Dr. Paul Porter, who was one of my guests on a previous show that I did in January called Black Lives Matter. He is going to be hosting a follow-up to that and discussing continued efforts around confronting racism on campus. And so next week, 1 o'clock, on Wednesday, Dr. Paul Porter is going to be joined by a couple of guests to talk about that discussion. And then, as we mentioned, Tony and I will be broadcasting live from Tampa. We're going to be having 3 different shows, and we're really excited about offering those to the Higher Ed Live viewers as well. You can receive reminders about all of our upcoming episodes by subscribing to our Higher Ed Live newsletter, and you can also browse our archives at higheredlive.com. And you can also listen to the podcast. So really appreciate, Dwayne, Kathy, you joining me today, and I look forward to seeing you all in Tampa.
Thanks for the opportunity.
Thanks.
All right. Thanks, friends.
Bye.
Bye-bye.